Don't wait up, my husband texted. The locksmith didn't either. It was supposed to be our anniversary dinner. I'd spent 3 hours making his favorite lamb roast, bought wine from the expensive section, even wore the dress he liked from our honeymoon. The table had candles and everything. At 6:30, Brad texted he was stuck at work. Then 7, then 8:30 with "Don't wait up." I ate dinner alone, watching the candles burn down to nothing. I was loading the dishwasher when I heard keys jingling outside, but the sound was wrong. Too much metal, too many keys. I peeked through the window and saw a guy in a work shirt with a toolbox walking up our driveway. He knocked and held up an ID. "Locksmith, got a call about changing the locks?" "I didn't call anyone," I said through the door. "Order came from Brad Mitchell. This is 847 Pine Street, right? He said his wife lost her keys and needed new locks installed tonight." My stomach dropped. I hadn't lost my keys. They were right there on the counter where they always were. I let him in because what else could I do? He seemed confused too. "Your husband said it was urgent. Paid double for night service." As he worked on our front door, replacing the lock completely, I tried calling Brad. Straight to voicemail. Again and again. The locksmith finished around 11. "All set? Your husband said he'd pick up the new keys from our office tomorrow morning." After he left, I stood in my own house realizing I couldn't lock my front door. I couldn't get back in if I left. Brad had literally locked me out of my own home on our anniversary. I called my sister Amy. "He changed the locks? Tonight? That's insane." I know how it sounds, but no, listen to me. This isn't normal angry husband behavior. This is planned. She was right. You don't just randomly decide to change locks at 9 p.m. You have to call ahead, pay extra, arrange everything. I stayed up all night thinking. Brad had been working late a lot recently, always texting instead of calling, always showering immediately when he got home, even on cool days. Around 6 a.m., I heard his car in the driveway. He tried his old key first, acting surprised when it didn't work. Then he knocked. "Honey, the key isn't working." I opened the door. "Weird. Maybe you should call the locksmith you hired." His face went white. "What locksmith?" "The one who came here last night to change our locks." "Said you paid double for emergency service?" Brad stared at me like I'd grown another head. "I never called a locksmith." "Really? Because he had your name, our address, and said you told him I lost my keys." I held up my keys, jangling them. These keys that I never lost. He opened his mouth, then closed it. Opened it again. "Someone must have what? Pretended to be you? Used your credit card? Known our anniversary dinner was tonight?" I watched him try to figure out how to explain this. His story kept changing. Maybe it was identity theft. Maybe someone at work played a prank. Maybe the locksmith company messed up the address. "So you're saying a complete stranger somehow knew our address, knew your full name, knew I would be home alone last night, and randomly decided to change our locks for fun?" Brad got quiet. "Or," I continued, "you changed the locks because you're not planning to come back here, because you're leaving, and you wanted to make sure I couldn't follow you or get into whatever place you're going." His shoulders sagged. "There's someone else, isn't there?" He nodded. "How long? 4 months? And you were going to lock me out of my own house and just disappear?" "I was going to tell you this morning. I just needed one night to figure out how, by trapping me here like a prisoner. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, but it did happen like this. My husband tried to lock me in my own house so he could leave me for another woman without a confrontation." The locksmith called that afternoon asking if we needed any additional work. I told him my husband wouldn't be picking up those keys after all, but I'd take them. Brad moved out the next week. I kept the new locks,